So today we are going to be auto landing on 16 right at SeaTac. It is a full Cat 3 runway. That means it will do the rollout and everything automatically. You can auto land on category 1 and 2, but you need to be ready to take over immediately after it touches down. So basically I'm going to be using Beyond ATC, and they're going to go ahead and vector me around here. If you're not using Beyond ATC, just pick up the procedure as if you were following your flight plan just all the way in. So yours will not be broken up like mine. Yours won't have the same discontinuities as mine unless you're using Beyond ATC. What I mean by that is you can see on my flight plan here on the primary, it's actually broken up after Heather. It just goes off to the northeast there and doesn't circle me back around. So what that just means is I was planning on getting vectored here by ATC and then intercepting the localizer after that.
Airbus 22 Juliet, contact Seattle approach 133.65, have a good one.
Seattle approach, Airbus 22 Juliet, 9,300 feet.
Airbus 22 Juliet, Seattle approach, altimeter 3015, expect the visual approach runway 16 right. Airbus 22 Juliet, leave Heather heading 330, expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 16 right. Airbus 22 Juliet, turn right, heading 325 vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 16 miles.
Okay, and as you can hear there, we just got cleared for manual vectors. If you are on beyond ATC, do not change your heading until after you actually hit that last waypoint. So in my example, it was Heather. Do not actually dial your heading in until you hit that waypoint, or else it'll circle you around back to the waypoint again. And you'll just be stuck in an indefinite hold until you figure out what you did wrong. So then you will get your vectors there if you're on beyond ATC after that last waypoint. So that's why you have a discontinuity there. That's actually meant to be there, that manual. So we are now just getting manually vectored here. We're just going to follow beyond ATC's instructions, and about this time is when I put flaps down to 1 and start configuring for landing. So really the main thing to be looking out for at this point is just keeping an eye on your deviation beacon. As you can see right here, it's about 2,200 feet above us. That's good. You want to be below your deviation beacon for final approach. If you are above your beacon and you try to intercept,
Airbus 22 Juliet, turn right, heading 360.
You must be below the beacon. Okay.
Turn right, heading 225. Intercept the 16 right localizer, Airbus 22 Juliet.
Airbus 22 Juliet, turn left, heading 225, intercept the 16 right
I have
localizer.
now been cleared to intercept the localizer. What I'm going to do
Turn left,
now
heading
is
225.
steer the
Intercept the
aircraft
16 right
to
localizer,
where it's
Airbus
going to
22
go
Juliet.
to the waypoint that just sets it up to final approach on the ILS. A lot of things that confuse people if you are using beyond ATC is you will get cleared for a visual approach a lot of times. That's actually very realistic and happens all the time. You are not expected to fly a visual approach. 99% of the time, it's going to be done via ILS still. It's just saving them time and resources by doing this. So the procedure is exactly the same for an ILS approach as it is for a visual here. So what I just did was selected my proper waypoint via the MCDU. If you don't know how to do that, what you're going to want to do is just go into your flight plan then plot out which waypoint is going to be most efficient via where you are, then go to direct to and select that waypoint. So in my situation, it was Selac, as you can see, and then you're going to make sure that 3 things are accomplished here before you activate your approach. Go ahead and get your aircraft completely configured for landing. Make sure that you are below your localizer or your ILS. As you can see, my deviation indicator is about 1,800 feet above me there. So we got plenty of room. So I'm getting configured here, and then what we're going to do on our flight director display up top is make sure LS is activated, and then about 15 to 20 miles out you're going to activate the approach phase on the autopilot itself. That's just the button that says APPR directly under your vertical speed. That's very important. That's going to actually allow the aircraft itself to intercept the ILS. So as soon as I see that deviation indicator, or usually I activate it here at about 15 miles out. In this case, I'm just letting it run for a little bit because I'm familiar with the approach. But you can definitely activate it at this point. And really the main thing that you want to look for that will signify that you know you've captured it properly is when the aircraft starts to descend below your last set altitude. What I mean by that is you can see I have 4,000 feet set in. As soon as the aircraft starts descending below that, hands off, let it do its thing. Has been selected and everything is locked in at this point. We are below the localizer, we're below the ILS, everything is good to go. As you can see, I have Cat 3 dual selected there. I did that after you select your approach phase by selecting both autopilots. Autopilot 1 and autopilot 2 both have to be running for redundancy in order to get a full auto land. It will not do a full auto land without 1 and 2 both running.
Airbus 22 Juliet, airport is at your 12 o'clock 15 miles. Report the field in sight.
And then right about here, when you can see that diamond,
We have the field. Airbus 22 Juliet.
falling down right next to that
Airbus 22
deviation
Juliet,
indicator,
cleared
is
visual
when
approach runway
you're going to
16
know
right.
that you have captured the signal properly. If you're on beyond ATC,
Cleared visual
they
approach
are
16
going
right.
to
Airbus
ask
22
if you have
Juliet.
the field in sight, if they are doing a visual. If it's weather, I mean, sometimes beyond ATC will screw up and order a visual approach during bad weather or something. Just say the field's in sight if you have it on your radar and you know you're locked in, or else they won't let you proceed. And as you can see there, we have started descending below our last set altitude. If we do need to do a go around for some reason, the easiest way to do that is when you get called off or you know you need to go around, put the aircraft into go and around throttle position, just max, and it'll do its thing on its own. And as you can see there, you know you're locked in because it follows that diamond to the T. There's really not much deviation unless there's extreme weather going on, so that's another clear indicator. As long as you're descending below that last assigned altitude and that you're following those diamonds, you can also use your primary to visualize the actual ILS signal a little bit better. But
Seattle Tower,
you really have everything you need right there.
Visual runway 16 right.
And
Airbus 22 Juliet, Seattle Tower, wind 100 at 7, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Hundred above.
here we are just monitoring
Minimum
to make sure
2,500.
we are staying on course.
2,500.
If the weather is not extreme, it's going to bring you in pretty straight ahead. So one thing you do have to make sure of is if you do end up going around or setting your approach up on the MCDU, make sure to select a waypoint prior to the airport itself. What I mean is if you select direct to and then your airport, the aircraft is going to bring itself just straight into the airport no matter where you're pointing. So you have to select a waypoint prior to that. If for some reason all of those have cleared out, you're just going to have to do a go around and use the assigned go around approach. And since this runway is an actual Cat 3 dual runway, it will steer me out fully. If you're trying to auto land on a Category 1 or Category 2, it will auto land. It absolutely will, but it's not certified to actually steer itself out. So you need to be able to take control. Basically, if you're trying to simulate a real-life experience, you need to be ready to take control at any second unless it is an actual Category 3 certified runway. If you're trying to look that up, just use the charts or the internet. It's not really built in other than actually seeing the signal when you capture it. And it does.
One thousand.
Like to touch down really lightly most of the time. That's just it doing its natural thing. It will not reverse thrust manually. You have to manually retard the throttle and reverse thrust.
50.
It will
40,
not do that automatically.
30, 20,
it will brake. It'll
10,
do everything
retard.
except for the reverse thrust. So you just let it touch down. manually retard the thrust. It will auto brake for you, bring the thruster into the reverse. And once you're down to about 60, you can go ahead and deactivate those. Take over.
Airbus 22
taxi
Juliet,
your gate.
exit left at Quebec.
That works for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024 for sure in the A32NX fly-by-wire configuration. And if you guys are trying to learn more about how to be a sim pilot, definitely subscribe and follow along, because I'm going to have many more videos to come about how to do this kind of stuff. Thanks for watching.
Airbus 22 Juliet, contact ground 121.7.
Ground 121.7, Airbus 22 Juliet. Airbus 22 Juliet, request taxi to allocated gate.
Airbus 22 Juliet, Gate Bravo 25 tree taxi via Papa, Tango, Quebec. Hold short runway 16 left.
Gate Bravo 25, 3 via Papa, Tango, Quebec. Hold short runway 16 left, Airbus 22 Juliet.
Airbus 22 Juliet, cross runway 16 left at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec, Bravo.
Cross runway 16 left at Quebec. Continue taxi via Quebec, Bravo, Airbus 22 Juliet.